Thank you for tuning in to watch our first episode ever of Spartan Spectacular, featuring your hosts, me, Amanda Ante, and Andy Kuros.
Today's episode will include interviews with adjustment counselor Allison Dwyer, who is chairing a heart fundraiser that goes through town, and also Emily Charpentier, who is the yearbook advisor. Not only that, but we also have highlights for the boys and girls basketball team throughout this winter.
Today we sat down with Allison Dwyer to talk about a project that benefits a community with a lesson of teaching kindness. Can you possibly give us a little background knowledge on what the Heart Project is?
Sure. So we started about 6 years ago, and we were inspired actually by a youth group in Boston that did this project where they made felt hearts, and inside of it was an act of kindness youth in the community did. And so we just took that project and made it our own and started with about 70 hearts in the town common, and it has spread to 5 different communities, all the schools, and this year we hung up about 700 hearts. So when you go down to the town common, you'll see all them hanging up, and inside, I can show you one, so they kind of look like this. There's all different kinds, different felt ones, and they're like a pocket, so inside each heart is a slip of paper, and a student has written down an act of kindness that they did for somebody in the community, and then they put it inside the heart, and then we hang them all up. And so it's a way for kids to just say thank you back to the community for helping them to take care of them, and just a nice way to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Who is the typical audience that contributes to this project?
We try to get all ages, so from the preschool all the way up to high school. Any kid in the community really can help. We've got collection boxes at all the schools, at the library. This year we spread into Franklin and Milford, Worcester, Northbridge, the Whiten Community Center, the library. And so we really kind of put it out there to the community that if you have kids and you want them to help, some of the scouts have helped make them. We actually had Lydia Taft actually help make hearts that donated to our project. So it's really meant to be like a community-wide project for everybody to kind of help with.
How has this progressed over the years?
The first year, I think we had 70 hearts, and our plan was that we would be able to reuse the hearts every year. That's why we kind of made them a pocket. So every year we take it down, we take out all the notes, and kind of restart the following year. So it's grown from 70 to 700, and our goal really is to get other communities to start doing this too. So we have them participating in our hanging, but we really want them hopefully next year to start hanging them in their own town commons as well. We just got a grant from the Franklin Cultural Council to help fund some of that for next year, so we're hoping to be able to at least get them hung in other communities as well. And we just thought it would be so cool to like drive from one town to another during this week and be able to see all these hearts hanging up. The other piece of this project is that it coincides with the Random Acts of Kindness Week, which is a national kind of event, and you can Google it and go on their website, and they have tons of research around what kindness does, and that it's not just a feel-good activity. It's really meant to build people's self-esteem and connection to each other. It helps kids' brains work better, which obviously helps in school, and so it's really kind of meant to inspire people and really kind of bring them together. So I'd encourage people to Google that. There's lots of activities you can do with your family, or if you're a teacher, work in your classrooms, and really just promote that whole idea of being kind to other people and being intentional about that.
And lastly, what does it mean to be kind to you?
I think kindness to me just means like we're being thoughtful towards other people, and I work a lot with kids that might have challenges in school. Life is a little harder for them, and so having them help with this project and really encouraging them to sort of be thoughtful about being kind to other people can really be helpful to them, because now it's, they'll tease me, oh, you're just a counselor, you're paid to like say nice things to us. But now when they drive through town and they see things on Facebook or people reacting to this, they can say, I did this, like I was part of this project. The fact that I was kind to other people and promoted this really made a difference, in other people are complimenting me or reacting positively to something I was involved in. So it's been really twofold of like, of course, it's just nice to be kind to people. We want more of that in the world, but it's also a way for kids to be part of something that maybe aren't, typically aren't part of things. So we really encourage other programs with maybe kids that are high risk or have struggles, to be involved in this, so that they can sort of feel good about being kind to somebody else. I actually had students this morning kind of talking about that, where somebody was struggling with their schoolwork and another student helped them, and they talked about that afterwards, about how it was just a kindness thing that happened, that not only did the kid feel better about doing the work, the student who helped them felt better about being kind to them and helping them. So it's really kind of about all of that, of just helping each other. And I think society-wise, we're becoming better at that, of just recognizing that that really impacts people and connects people, especially that there's so much bad stuff that happens in the world, that being kind to one another can really go a long way.
I'm here with the yearbook advisor, Emily Charpentier, to talk about this upcoming 2016-2017 Uxbridge High School yearbook. So not only are you the librarian, but you're also the yearbook advisor, correct?
Yes.
So what made you want to become the yearbook advisor?
Actually, Miss Christian, who was here a couple of years ago, asked me if I wanted to do it with her. She got involved because she has children here at the school, and we had gotten to know each other during the school year, and she thought that we could work well together and advise yearbooks. So that was actually how I got into it.
How do you and your club actually go about creating a yearbook?
It takes a lot of time. The first step is creating the ladder, which is kind of an outline of what's going to be in the yearbook, and deciding what order everything's going to be in, how many pages to allot for everything. We pick a theme for each year, so that kind of guides the design for the cover, the unifying elements that we use throughout the yearbook, the kinds of graphics and templates that we use for pages in the yearbook. And once we have the theme in our ladder, it's a matter of collecting pictures that go along with all of the elements on the ladder and building the pages in keeping with the theme.
And what company is Uxbridge High School partnered with?
So right now we're working with Walsworth Yearbooks for the yearbook design and yearbook sales.
And how did you decide on choosing this company?
When we were looking at different companies, one of the things that the students involved in yearbook were really interested in was what the software used to build the pages looked like, because the students involved in yearbook our current group is really interested in graphic design, so they wanted something really flexible so that they could build pages that looked the way they wanted them to. So that was a big factor in the decision.
And you just mentioned the students. Can you explain how both the students and staff work together to create the yearbook?
As much as possible, we try to make sure that student voices are what makes decisions on the yearbook. So a lot of decisions are made by vote or by consensus. That's usually how we end up picking the theme. We have 3 student editors this year, Jen Kindle, Kyle Alger, and Emily Levine, and they have done a lot of the work this year, especially with kind of making decisions about our theme and ideas to kind of keep the theme going through the book, which this year is games.
So you just mentioned a couple of students. So if a student wanted to volunteer for the yearbook club or help out, what would their job entail?
There's kind of 3 basic things that go into it: photography, journalism, and graphic design. So those are the 3 big things that students can get involved with yearbook for. Anyone can be a photographer for yearbook. Even if you're not in yearbook, you don't come to meetings, we do have a system for submitting photos from yearbooks. Like, you guys take pictures all the time, and you have tons of great pictures. So you can submit them to yearbook. You can either email them to the yearbook email address, or we have the yearbook Snap app, and that's the easiest way to get involved with yearbook. And then, if students want to join yearbook, they can come to meetings. We meet on Mondays, and we can train students on the program that we use.
And what program is that?
It's the Walsworth online design.
And you also mentioned the theme. So what is this year's theme?
This year's theme is games. So we have a great cover that kind of takes the look of a Game Boy with kind of a Spartan themed game on it this year that Jen Kindle designed. That kind of was an idea that the whole group came up with early this year. And then throughout the book, we kind of have motifs from tabletop games and board games, video games, yard games, all kinds of stuff, to kind of bring it all together.
And do you have a favorite theme for a prior yearbook?
I really liked when we did the comic book theme a few years ago. That was really fun, and there were a lot of like really bright visual elements that went with that.
And another big part of the yearbook is, of course, the cover.
Yep.
And you mentioned that this year's cover was, the Game Boy. How do you decide on what goes on the cover?
Well, first we come up with a theme, so that really determines what the cover is, because the cover is the first decision that we have to make. It's due in like October. So as soon as the group has decided on a theme, excuse me, we ask everyone to kind of come up with ideas for the cover. Anyone who comes to the yearbook meetings and wants to design a cover, if they want to design one, we'll kind of have them do a preliminary design and then have a vote. This year it ended up being that they all really liked the idea of doing a Game Boy kind of design on the cover. So the group kind of put their ideas together, and Jen designed based on that.
And regarding this year's yearbook, how much does it cost and when will they be distributed?
So the cost of the yearbook, if you order early and that deadline is way past, they're $75 until December. Right now we only have a few left, but they're available for $100. And they'll be distributed at the end of May, usually during the week of graduation rehearsals. So seniors will get theirs first after graduation rehearsal, and then they'll be distributed to underclassmen.
Are there any upcoming deadlines or dates or payments for the yearbook?
So we've submitted about half of the yearbook, and that was due back in February. That means that the second half of the yearbook is due in early April, so we have a lot of work to get done. And then the next deadline is at the end of the school year, and that's something a lot of students don't know about. Because the entire book is due in April, there's stuff that happens later in the year, like prom, spring sports, graduation, and all that stuff goes into the spring supplement, which is 16 more pages that you can kind of stick into the back of your yearbook. They are printed over the summer, and we distribute them out of the main office, usually in late July or early August.
And how does the club raise money to afford these great yearbooks?
Well, we were lucky this year that we were able to reduce the cost of the yearbook a little bit by moving to the new company, so that's been really helpful. We do sell ads to businesses, and those are printed in the yearbook. We also sell ads to parents, so they can write messages to especially seniors and put any pictures of you guys as toddlers and whatnot in the back of the book with congratulations messages. We also sell senior shout outs, where friends and parents of seniors can write a very brief, like tweet length message, and that's printed in the yearbook. We are also working on maybe doing the Mr. UHS fundraiser probably in April. So we're hoping that we can get some interest in that, and we'll be able to do that again this year.
And do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom from the yearbook?
Send us pictures. It's really nice to be able to have a yearbook that reflects the entire school and every class and all the things that go on. And it's difficult for members of yearbook to get around everywhere, but we know that you guys all have cameras in your pocket. So if you have pictures of things that are going on, we love to see those.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for watching this edition of Spartan Spectacular, and be sure to catch the next one.
We'd like to thank everyone at UCTV who helped make this production possible, and we'll see you next time on Spartan Spectacular.